here today celebrating St George's Day. This is a great day. It's great to see so many flags flying, the community celebrating with pride their national identity. Earlier on this morning, I went to Bury Town Hall and was part of the event when the Mayor hoisted proudly the English flag above the Town Hall. So it's great to see such community spirit. But today is also a time to reflect on progress in this election campaign. I've spent most of the week meeting senior citizens at sheltered housing schemes, bungalows, the houses and flats around the constituency. And of course they've told me that they want us to do more, which is why they've very strongly welcomed Labour's commitment to link from 2012 state pension with earnings. But they've also said how they recognise the difference that Labour has made to the lives of senior citizens through the winter fuel allowance, free off-peak travel, the pensioner credit, free TV licences for over 75, free prescriptions and free eye tests. And how many of our senior citizens who I've spoken to are very, very concerned indeed at the prospect of a Conservative government. Not one of that level of support for senior citizens was provided when we had a Conservative government in this country. And it's interesting because Gordon Brown has challenged David Cameron as to why free prescriptions and free eye tests are not in the Conservative manifesto. In a letter written today to the local newspapers, my Conservative opponent has claimed that the Conservatives would protect a range of things for senior citizens, but she too has missed off that list free prescriptions and free eye tests. So we need clarification from the Conservatives about what senior citizens can expect if there were to be a Conservative government. I've also spent much of this week meeting mums and dads at school gates, talking to them about their concerns about their families. Will record levels of school funding be sustained in the future? Labour has invested massive amounts in our education system. Will family tax credits, which support people to work rather than to be on benefit, which support with childcare, will they continue? Because the Conservatives have said they're going to deny tax credits to some families. Will we continue to support the brand new children's centres, which have been developed in every community to support parents and children of under 5? And will we ensure that in this country we continue to put investing in children and young people, because they are our future, first? Those parents have said to me that this election matters to them because it will impact on their family's standard of living, of quality and quality of life. And they've also talked about mortgages. They wanted to be reassured that it would be a Labour government that would continue at the lowest sustained interest rates we have seen for a generation, which of course means for many families they can afford to own their own homes, as well as the recent stamp duty reductions specifically targeted at first-time buyers. Of course, nationally, this has been a period dominated by the leaders' debates. There is absolutely no doubt that those debates have set this campaign on fire. And I recognise that Nick Clegg in the first debate performed extremely well. But the real news is that in both the debates so far, David Cameron has underperformed, and Gordon Brown has demonstrated he is the only leader amongst the three of real substance. Who do you want taking this country through to economic recovery? Who do you trust with this country's national security? Time and time again in those debates, Gordon Brown has demonstrated he is the leader of substance. So I hope as many of my constituents as possible will tune into the final debate next Thursday evening on BBC One, where the focus of the discussion will be the economy. The biggest issue of them all: which party is best placed, which leader is best placed to take this country from recession through the emerging recovery safely to the other side. And I think when people watch that debate, they will remember it was Gordon Brown that acted decisively when the global recession across the world hit our country to protect jobs, and businesses and mortgages. It's Gordon Brown who took all the right decisions in terms of Northern Rock, the banks, and investing in the economy. And on every occasion, it was David Cameron and George Osborne who made the wrong choices, and they want to repeat that folly by taking millions of pounds out of the economy this year at a time when that would run the risk of putting us back into recession and risk many, many jobs. They would introduce tax breaks for millionaires, whilst if you look at the tax break policies, almost certainly introduce big VAT increases for the rest of us. And of course we know that they can't match Labour's commitment to protect frontline school budgets or policing budgets, and they made it very, very clear that in terms of tax credits and children's centres, many middle income families will no longer be able to benefit. So this election so far has been an election about the big choices: economic recovery, fairness, Britain's health service and education systems. As we move into next week, people will really begin to focus on the key issues that matter to themselves and their families. Which party, which leader is going to guarantee the best future for people's standard of living and quality of life? This campaign is taking off. The leadership debates have made a really important contribution to that. But I will continue to be campaigning in Radcliffe and Prestwich and Whitefield and Unsworth and Simister and Ainsworth, and engaging with all communities and making my case. I've had overwhelming support this week for my proposal that each of Radcliffe, Prestwich, Whitefield stroke Unsworth should have maximum independence from Bury Council. People have had enough of inflation-busting council tax increases imposed by the Conservative Council for inadequate and poor services. So I will be also taking that campaign to the people of this community during the next 2 weeks. I ask people to engage in this election because in the end it's not about my future, it's about your future and the future of your family.